So earlier today, President Trump went on a disastrous Twitter rampage on the topic of Syria. Now, he said on Twitter, Russia vows to shoot down any and all missiles fired at Syria. Get ready, Russia, because they will be coming nice and new and smart. No, there was nothing smart about that. That was very, very stupid. That tweet was dumb, and the person who tweeted it is also incredibly dumb. Now, this, of course, comes after pressure, intense media pressure from both the supposed left and the right to bomb Syria. Now, look, the reason that they say that, oh, no, we need to be tough on Syria is because there were some videos that are so far unverified of children, adults being horrifically gassed. I mean, nobody can watch those videos and not be devastated at the cruelty and the loss of life. It's horrible. It's clearly a gas attack, and it's clearly something that is just absolutely horrifying to watch. Now, do we know who launched that gas attack? Unfortunately, we do not. Now, Assad himself has said, okay, look, you think I did the gas attack? Come and do investigations. We are inviting you into Syria so that you can investigate whether or not we did the gas attack. Because we didn't do it. We gave up all our chemical weapons. We're not interested in that. We would have we're on the precipice of winning this war anyway. So go ahead, come into the country and go and inspect us. And we can guarantee that you will come up with no chemical weapons because we didn't do it. That is what the government of Assad is saying. Now, look, if you want to say, well, I don't believe Assad because he's a monster, I will concede that, yes, he is a monster. But does it make any sense when you're about to win a conflict to do something that's going to inflame the international community and bring America, who said they were going to leave, back into the fight to make sure that there is regime change? No, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. And look, ultimately, and unfortunately, we seem to be barreling towards another conflict without knowing what the facts actually are in this gas attack. Okay. And look, we've seen this movie before. This movie did not end well. So, and unfortunately, as I said, most of the media is calling for a conflict in Russia. Now, thankfully, we do have some people that are also saying that maybe we should not go to war without knowing the facts, without doing some sort of investigation. And even if we do know the facts, that we should still not go to war. Now, one of those people happens to be somebody that I disagree with on a lot of domestic issues, a lot of different policy issues. We have different points of view. Now, this person, however, look, even though I disagree with him on a lot of issues, on this situation, we do agree. In fact, let's hear what he has to say.
Leaders on both sides of the aisle in Congress, in the media, in our intelligence services, in virtually every overfunded think tank in Washington, have suddenly aligned tonight on a single point of agreement. America must go to war in Syria immediately. Bashar al-Assad cannot continue to lead that country. He must be overthrown. Assad is an evil man, they tell us. His latest crime is a chlorine gas attack carried out over the weekend by his forces against a rebel-held suburb of Damascus. Assad's poison gas suffocated children. Pictures of the aftermath of that are all over the internet, and they are horrifying. Assad is a monster. That's the official story. Almost everyone in power claims to believe it. The push to war in Syria, by the way, has united politicians from both sides. Lindsey Graham and Howard Dean typically agree on very little. Not much at all. But today they are both calling for war in Syria. Graham is demanding massive attacks on the Syrian military. Dean is going even further than that. On Twitter, he called the president, quote, a wimp for merely sending thousands of troops and launching tons of bombs at Syria. That's not enough for Howard Dean, who, as you may remember, once ran for president as the peace candidate. Tonight, he wants total war in Syria. Television pundits, of course, strongly agree. This morning, the foreign policy team over on MSNBC explained that it's far more important for American troops to fight in Syria than it is to secure our own border here in America.
Okay. So, look, he's basically laying out the fact that here we go. We have a media that is pushing for war. Now, later on, he asks, will it make us safer to invade Syria? How will it help America? Well, it won't. How do we even know it was Assad that did it? Again, we don't know. These rebel groups have everything to gain from America staying and continuing and escalating their situation. So, yeah, maybe... Look, he's being criticized as saying, oh, this is a false flag. No, what he's saying is, let's get some more information first, because there are so many things that we don't know, and let's not rush into a war. And I think that that's actually 100% correct, and I think that's the right take on this situation. And he rightly points out that here you have MSNBC, which, of course, yes, he's going to have a bias against. He's a Fox News host. But he's saying, look, MSNBC, the supposedly left station, is saying we should go to war. Howard Dean, somebody who ran in the Peace Party, is now saying we should drop bombs and kill innocent people. He's absolutely right in his criticism. And this is something that, look, I don't like having to say this, okay? So I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson. I'm not a fan of pretty much anything he believes. And it pains my soul to agree with him so thoroughly on an issue. But that's where it is. That's where we are in this situation that we never thought we would be. This is uncharted waters. So, but when it comes to war, look, there's people on the left, obviously progressives, that are saying the same thing, that are anti-war, that are like, hey, wait a minute, we've been through this before. We've been to Iraq. Have we learned nothing from the situation in Iraq? Have we learned nothing from Libya? Have we learned nothing from all these different conflicts that are driven by media that loves war and a military-industrial complex that also loves war, by financial interests that profit heavily from going to war? Have we learned nothing from their escapades? Look, there were intelligence failures that led to the conflict in Iraq, which proved to be incredibly disastrous for not only the country, but the region. Out of Iraq came ISIS. Libya, they now have human slave trades going on. And we have essentially forgotten about it. We have essentially ignored it. Hey, man, look, we bombed the shit out of Libya, and then we just let it go. I mean, look, I don't want to be nation building. You know what the best way to avoid nation building is? Not destroying a fucking nation. Wouldn't that make a whole lot of sense? It makes a lot of sense to me. And to, I think, most people with a functional brain. And look, I'm not saying that people in the military-industrial complex, people around Trump, are stupid. I'm saying Trump is stupid, and he's easily manipulated because he has no core ideology. He has no principles. And he is, as I said, very easily manipulated by the people around him. For example, John Bolton, who hasn't met a war that he doesn't like. What I'm saying is there's a lot of money to be made by the defense contractors, by the politicians that get paid by the defense contractors. And they see an opening. And every time so far that we have signaled, okay, we're done in Syria, we've done what we said we were going to do, so let's get out of there, there's another gas attack. It's a little convenient. And all Tucker is doing is he's actually pointing that out and actually doing, and I hate saying this, good journalism. But these are strange times, as I said before. And when you're right, you're absolutely right. And and look, I give him a lot of credit for calling this out. It takes a lot of balls to not only criticize what the president is doing when you're on Fox News, but the media as well, especially Fox News, which also has pundits that are calling for war. So, again, he's one of the lone voices out there talking about how, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't go into this conflict. Maybe we shouldn't start another conflict in the Middle East. That's going to cost lives and blood and treasure. And look, we know what happens to journalists that speak out against war. So, again, credit to Tucker Carlson. There's not a lot that we agree on, but on this, we totally agree. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.